There it is right there. Enter scene. When we last saw our hero, he was struggling with a POS Nova that was making all sorts of noises and contemplating quitting, ending it all, giving up on his lifelong dream of being a YouTube superstar. But instead, a new light has shined, I think. Sort of. Alright, so we left off in the last video. This thing's a piece of crap. Got that check done, right? I went through a bunch of different stuff. I tried to work on cleaning out the turbo as best as I could, so we just did a fresh oil change. We're gonna run some oil through it, hopefully see if maybe there was something caught up in there, whatever the case may be. The more and more I think about it, two things. Number one, I really hope that, and then I also think that the sound kind of sounded like it was behind the engine. I'm thinking, I did check inverter bolts, I checked a bunch of stuff last night, but none of that really produced anything of value. So today, I've got the converter disconnected. I'm gonna go underneath there, throw the starter back in, and we're gonna fire this thing up without the converter connected and see if we still hear the noise or we don't. Now, it's possible that the converter will still spin because it's, you know, seated in the back of the crank a little bit, even pushed all the way back into the trans. But hopefully this will give us a better idea. We need to get a little bit further into what is actually making this noise. If it's the engine, that's what makes me want to quit. I'm tired of messing with these engines. I'm tired of putting them together. I'm tired of them being a pain in the ass. I probably won't quit because I'm too stupid to quit. So let me get the starter in. I also picked up some super heavy gauge wire. I want to redo the alternator wire because some folks were on their game and could see that in the past and in the burnout and stuff, the headlights were dimming. You know, we're not completely dropping out voltage. We still have voltage, all of that. But if we can make it better voltage, make it for a happier car. So we're going to do a couple things to try to alleviate that. One, we're going to go with a thicker wire from the alternator. And then two, what I want to do down the road, I got to get, I think it's like a Cadillac one. And it's like an Escalade one, Derek was telling me. It's like a factory style alternator that produces the most amperage. So I will look into getting one of those as well. We don't really need this right now because we're still trying to isolate the noise. But while we were at Walmart earlier, I figured I'd grab that. Grab me some sour gummies. Gummy bear in the house. We'll get to work. Alright, so there's a couple things I want to check. Number one, obviously, see if we can isolate the noise a little bit better. Every time that I fired this thing up, like something has happened which has caused me to immediately shut it down. Let me just try to exercise a little patience. If a lifter spun, in the tray and it's hitting the cam, we've probably already destroyed the cam anyway. So I can let it run long enough to figure it out. I'm really hoping that now with this converter disconnected, that's not the issue. Tons of great suggestions on Facebook last night when I posted this. People were talking about, you know, make sure the starter's not staying engaged, make sure it's not hitting the nose cone. Some people have had to space the starter, all this kind of stuff. So I've got a list of stuff that I've already checked, stuff that I want to recheck, and we'll go through it all. But I just want to make sure right now we're going to go ahead and give her the old fire up, see what happens. I think it's hitting the starter because I just looked at the starter, you know, the gear that comes out of it, everything. I don't see any marks on it like anything's hitting, but we tried spacing the starter. So let's see if it even engages the starter, works, everything, and see if it changes. But I feel like where we're ending at here is that the trans is going to have to come out. Like something's going to have to come out. We're going to have to get a better view of this. And I think right now I'm leaning towards something in the flex plate area. I don't know, I was trying to get a good look at the flex plate bolts as they were spinning. see if there was anything there. Couldn't see anything there. I don't know. Weird stuff. Look at all that travel. I just like to be a little better safe than sorry, you know what I mean? Pull the starter, pull the bolts, pull the pull. I'm wondering if it is the flex plate. I've been hearing some weird clinking noise, like when I put it into gear. So I obviously wanted to check the U-joints, which they all look good. They don't seem to be moving around, none. Hopefully it's just the flex plate. And hopefully we don't have to get wild. We can just drop this thing down far enough to get to the flex plate without taking it all the way out and all that kind of craziness. So that's gonna be the game plan here. Came over to the service center. My boys hooked me up. Shout out to Chris and the guys at the service center. Left me an open lift. I was able to come over here so we can do this up in the air and actually see what we're doing and not spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours on our backs on the floor of the garage trying to move a trans around. It's much easier to do here. Let me start getting some stuff out. Shall receive. Moment of truth. Is the flex plate screwed? No, it is not. The bolts aren't loose. It does not appear to be cracked anywhere. I mean, we're here, so I'm gonna take it off and see, but ah boy. And they're torqued down to spec like they're supposed to be. Looks fine. Looks completely fine. I'm gonna fire it up with the trans completely separated. And if the tran's completely disconnected and it's still making that noise, it's gotta be inside the motor. Because there's nothing on this flex plate. Now what we're about to do is either going to make me cry or just confuse me even more. So let's do it. Lose my shit. It might happen. It might happen. Today might be that day. Going for a new amateur land speed saucer sled record. Clark W. Griswold. Don't try this at home, kids. I am a professional. ideas. I don't know what it is other than we got to pull that motor out. Like, it sounds like there's a bolt in the motor or something. Like a bolt banging around in there. Like maybe one of the nuts to hold on the windage tray fell off. I don't think so, but I don't know. But what I do know is that this trans needs to go back in place. All this needs to get hooked back up again, because we did not find the answer we were looking for. That's for sure. Shit. Well, if I had a list of the top one thing that I didn't feel like doing right now, I'd be pulling this engine out. But there is no other option at this point. Don't know where the noise is coming from. Sounds like the bottom end of the engine. Could be bearing, which could have been from the start, just the motor was crap to begin with. I don't really think we crazily overfueled it to where the the fuel dilution of the oil and all that. I could have dropped something in it. Could have nothing to do with that. It could be, for some strange reason, the crank hitting the windage tray, or like, there's all kinds of stuff. But what we're not gonna know is what it is until we undo all of this work, take it back out, and take it apart. So we're gonna crank the heater, crank some music, and figure out what in the hell this noise is. If you can't tell, I'm pretty tired of this crap. But I mean, that's it. It's either we take it out and figure out what's wrong with it, or I go sit on my couch and give up on racing. I'm not ready to give up on racing yet. It's out. A few hours later, a couple cuss words. Probably not going to be anywhere near as easy to go back in, but we got it out. If I was a gambling man, I'm going to say there's a bolt or a nut in there. What do you say, Brandon?
Spun rod bearing.
Rod bearing. There's also, could be hitting the windage tray, but ultimately, anyway we cut it, I think it's bottom end. Taking the top half off. Like, I don't think the lifter spun in the tray or anything like that. I think it's something at the bottom. So there's no good way to do this without making a giant mess. Drain the oil out. And then I guess we can flip it upside down, throw the pan under it, take the oil pan off. Sounds like a plan. Now, either I forgot a bolt, or that's just gasket maker doing what it's supposed to do. That's just gasket maker doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, we got a clue. Got a clue. Damn it, Brandon.
It's kind of sparkly in there, man.
It's sparkly. I don't hear no jingle jangle though, like a bolt or a nut. It's really sparkly in there. It's been destroyed, whatever it is. Bro, come on. Damn it, man. Well, no wonder the turbo won't spin. I just cleaned all this shit out too. And for whatever reason, like that wasn't coming out of the oil pan, like in the oil. Like, yeah, there was a little bit of glitter, like a little bit, but I was like, you know, maybe I didn't clean something well enough, perfectly enough. No, this is like destroyed. Let me get the other socket. There it is right there. If that's a bearing, like I hate to say it, because it would be kind of crap, but I'm starting to feel like maybe this motor was shit from the start, and that's why. But you gotta be careful with them junkyard motors, because now it's too many years, it's too late in the game, everybody's been using them. Now people is just pulling out motors and saying, oh yeah, it ran great. Because, like, damn. Come on. If that's a bearing, this would be blatantly obvious. But this is like too thin. Or if it is a bearing, this thing was like screwed long before we ever got our hands on it. Right there. Well, I think we found it, judging by looking at that. Yeah.
Well.
Oh, yep. There she went. There she went, right there. This must have been one of them Friday motors. You know what I'm talking about? Them Friday motors.
Mm-hmm.
Them fucking Friday after lunch. Hey-o! Now we got a winner. Now we got a winner. So it spun, decided to eat itself, which, judging based on the amount of time we've even had this motor, like, running, I find it hard to believe we were the cause of that. I could be wrong. I'm usually like the first one to blame myself, like, oh, this is my fault, it's something I fucked up, like, because I always feel self-conscious in that. I don't think this one was us. I think this one, like, get right for the summer mixtape episode 17, we spun the bearing. It is what it is, right? So we've got a couple choices. Number one, this is the 6.0 that was supposed to go in Mallory's El Camino. Super glad it didn't go in that, because as much as this sucks, I would hate to see that happen to her, especially on, you know, what would have been her first LS swap and everything else. What I'm gonna go with is probably, who knows what happened. We heard something at first startup. I thought it was tools laying there, kind of went away, didn't hear nothing for a while, came back with a vengeance. We probably spun this damn thing from the start. It is what it is, nothing we can do about it now. Crank, probably, who knows, with the rods, maybe damaged. I'm not really sure what I want to do, because at this point putting a screwdriver on it ain't gonna hurt it no more. She already screwed. Can't even tell where the end of it is. Maybe that'll help us. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So that's what was in the oil pan, was the other piece of this, which looks fixable. Crank looks fixable. Man, I don't know. Well, because at least from this side of the crank. Also, for those of you at home, we will be selling my burnt out bearings autographed for the low price of $999.99. And we will use that money to get a better motor. So look for that on SHITBOXSupply.com. Yeah, we could do 2 new pistons and rods, because these are Gen 3 and they're press fit and everything. We could do that, clean up the crank, throw it back together, or I can go on the hunt for another motor. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. As much as I would love to, I can't afford like a super nice multi-$1,000, especially not tens of thousands of dollars engine right now. We gotta do about 27,000 more videos before we can get that. So I don't know. So we're gonna go on the hunt for a new motor, see what we can find. I know that there's people locally that have said like, oh, I got this, I got that, whatever. Take the parts out of this, put it into something else, do it all over again, hope for better luck. Or it'd be cool if I could find like a nicer motor that somebody's got used and maybe like they want to trade the Camaro roller for or something. I don't know. We gotta get a new motor. We gotta go get a new motor, try to get the damn thing racing, try to get this thing going. It was very, very promising. Very promising. Back on the hunt. Appreciate you guys tuning in, subscribing, liking, sharing, doing that whole damn thing. I wish we had more of a video for this one. I don't know what the plan is for a new motor just yet, so I want to at least get you guys the answer, see what happened. Bada bing, bada boom, and then we'll just keep working towards something else. Make it happen. I'll see you guys next time. I think she's going to be like the happiest person in the world. Hey.
So you're going to PJ Pelicans? No.
If I get hungry and I have to get in the neighborhood.
More broken things.
Did you have to take a ferry to get there? I have no business on that.
Waited like a year for that. And you did this in a day. Waited a year for that, you did this in a day. How'd you do this?
It's a rod bearing.
Yeah, how'd you do that?
No, no. It spun. So my guess is it was either bad from the start, because like we heard a noise when we first. Here, you want to off my pants?
No, I haven't.
We need a new engine. Do you think?
Another
Another new engine.
Another
Hold
one.
on, right here.
Underneath the Christmas tree.
The air.
Oh.
Is that where you want your new engine, or?
No, I want it in the car.
Oh.
It'd be nice if Santa could deliver it, install it, fire it up, gap the plugs, everything. Come on, Santa baby. Don't I look good?
Christmas Day, you walk outside. Oh, we can go race now.
No, because if you think it's like December 3rd, if you think I'm waiting till Christmas Day to figure this out, you're crazy. Santa baby, bring me something high horsepower. Santa baby, flat top 370 plus would be nice.